Hi, welcome to my home. My name is Kathy, and in today's video we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I am going to be canning up some corn, but I'm not starting with fresh corn because I'm sure I'm just like many of you and I don't have room to grow corn. I don't have access to a farmer right down the road where I can go buy a few bushels of corn. Heck, I don't even know. Actually, no. I know I don't know what a true bushel of corn even looks like. So today I'm going to be using frozen corn. It's something that's easily accessible. You can usually find it in big bulk bags, either at Costco or Sam's Club. I think Walmart even usually has them. And also the restaurant supply stores will often have the big bags of frozen corn. Some benefits of canning frozen corn is the cleaning and blanching has already been done for you. The corn is processed and flash frozen right after it gets picked from the field, so it's going to be more nutritious than the corn that's been sitting in the grocery store waiting to be purchased. So it's going to be fresher than the cobs of corn that you can buy at the grocery store. Canning your own corn allows you to control the ingredients and the flavor profile. You can also can it in whatever size works for you. If you have a really large family, maybe you want to can it up in a quart-sized jar. If your family is smaller, maybe you're only feeding 3 or 4 people, maybe you want to use a pint size. Or if you're by yourself or there's just 1 or 2 of you, maybe you want to use a half pint size. I know in 2020, when all of that fiasco happened, I found it very difficult to find corn in the stores. And when I did find it, many times there were restrictions on how many cans you could purchase at a time. In my house, we primarily eat corn as our vegetable. I know that's probably not the healthiest, but that's what we do. My husband loves corn, so we have corn. So a corn vegetable is better than no vegetable. It was difficult to find in 2020. I think with the way things are right now, I truly believe we might be headed in that direction again. So buying big bags of frozen corn and canning it myself is a way that I can assure that I'm going to have the food on my shelf to carry my family through whatever lies ahead. So don't go away, because when we come back, we're going to be in my kitchen and we're going to get this put together. Okay, so what I have here is 5 pounds of frozen corn. I did let it thaw. It's mostly thawed. When I add the hot water to the jars, it'll finish thawing. There's just a little bit that's still slightly frozen. I have 9 pint jars and 8 half pint jars. I'm going to be putting the pint jars on the bottom of the canner. I'll put the half pints on the rack above. I have not canned half pints before. I know the processing time is going to be the same as the pint jars. With the shorter half pints, I'm not comfortable putting these on the bottom because I know when I put them on the bottom, they will submerge in water. The water level will come up to be above the lids, and I'm not comfortable with that, doing that in the pressure canner. If any of you have pressure canned the half pint jars, these shorter half pint jars on the bottom with them submerged in water, please let me know. Let me know how it turned out. But at this point, I'm not comfortable doing that, so I'm not. So I'll go ahead and put the pints on the bottom. That way these guys will be out of the water. So all we're gonna do is fill up our jars. You don't want to pack these, so you just want them loosely filled, leaving 1 inch of headspace. And I think I'm going to have probably just enough corn to do these pint sizes. So what I'll do for the half pints is I'll pull out maybe some mixed vegetables. I have mixed vegetables. I also have peas. Not sure what else. I know I have some more bags of vegetables, frozen vegetables, in my freezer. So I will just pull out those other vegetables and get them thawed out real quick. And then I can make sure I have a full canner of food. No wasted space. This one got a little full, so I'm going to take some out and put it in this one. Just move these around a little bit. I'm going to be careful not to pack any of these down. Just do a little bit of food shuffle and get them where they need to go. Okay, next I'm going to fill these with hot water. My water is hot, but it's not boiling. I do have my canner on, and it is also, the water in there is hot, not boiling. So I don't want any shock. We're just going to fill these to 1 inch headspace. I'm going to use a chopstick just to make sure I get out any bubbles or any air pockets. Adjust the space. And I'll just keep repeating the process until all of these jars are filled. Okay, to each jar I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of salt. This is non-iodized salt. This is not necessary. This is just for flavor. I know from experience with this particular brand of corn, I do add salt while I'm cooking it. So I figure I just go ahead and add a little bit of salt during the canning process. Okay, and we'll just wipe the rims. Make sure we don't have any food debris on them. This also gives you a chance to check the rims for just one more time, just make sure there aren't any nicks. Because if there's any nicks in your rings or on your rims, it will prevent it from sealing properly. Okay. On with the lids, fingertip tight, and into the can. Okay, I am back with some mixed veggies. I went ahead and ran these, or put these under some warmish water to get them thawed. Again, I'm still going to just fill these, leaving 1 inch headspace, and 1 inch is right about there at the bottom ring. Now these little containers will be perfect for, 1 or 2 people. It's nice to have some smaller quantities on the shelf. Kind of smoothing these out without packing them down. I want these filled loose enough so that the water can get all through all of the vegetables, to make sure that it heats evenly throughout. Fill it with the hot water, maintaining that 1 inch headspace. Debubble it with my chopstick here. Make sure we get out all of those air pockets. Okay, water level looks good in all of those. Maybe a little more than I need in this one. I'll put that over here. Now in these, I'm just going to put about 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Again, this is non-iodized salt. And this is just for flavor. It's not a requirement, so if you want to leave out the salt, feel free. Wipe my rims. Lids on, fingertip tight, and into the canner. Okay, everyone is in the pot. I've got 9 pints of corn on the bottom, and then we have 8 half pints of mixed vegetables on the top. So now I'm going to get my lid on, and I'm going to go ahead and get this tightened down and heat it up, and I'll bring you back when we're ready for the next step. Okay, my canner is now venting. I have a steady stream of steam coming out of the vent. So I set my timer for 10 minutes. So once my canner has vented for the 10 minutes, I will be putting my weight on, and I will be putting it on at 15 pounds for my altitude, and my canner, the processing weight is 15 pounds for me. So please be sure to check your altitude and your canner type to know what pressure you should be canning at. I will be processing these for 75 minutes. And the way I came up with that time, because we do have a mix of things in here. So corn, if all I had in my canner was corn, the processing time for pints would be 55 minutes and quarts would be 85 minutes. For mixed vegetable, it's 75 minutes for pints, 90 minutes for quarts. Lima beans, fresh lima beans, are 40 minutes for pints and 50 minutes for quarts. Peas are 40 minutes for pints and quarts. Green beans are 20 minutes for pints and 25 minutes for quarts. And then carrots are 25 minutes for pints and 30 minutes for quarts. Whenever you're doing a mix of foods, you look at what is the time required for the longest food item, I guess for the longest food item that you have in your canner. So in my case, the mixed vegetables at 75 minutes for pints is the longest time, so that's what I'll process at today. And your processing time for half pints is going to be the same as it is for pints. So even though my mixed veggies are in the half pints, I will still process those for full 75 minutes. So I hope that helped you a little bit. I hope that helps explain how to determine your time when you're doing something that has a mix of items. You would do the same thing if you were, say, doing spaghetti sauce with the meat inside of it. So you would process it not at the regular spaghetti sauce time, which is, I think, based on mostly the tomato, but you would process it at the meat time. So you would process it at the 75 minutes for pints, 90 minutes for quarts for meat. So just keep that in mind when you're canning and you're experimenting or you're doing a recipe that you've added a little bit to. Make sure you're checking the times to see if that ingredient that you added to your recipe will change your processing time. Okay, my 10 minutes is up, so I'm going to go ahead and put my weight on now. Once this comes up to pressure and my weight starts to jiggle, I'll go ahead and start my timer for 75 minutes. And then when it's all done, I'll bring you back, I'll show you the final product, and I'll also share with you the price breakdown to see did we actually save any money by canning this ourselves? Okay, well, it's the next day, and all of my jars sealed up beautifully. We have a total of 9 pints of corn and 8 half pints of mixed vegetable. So let's break down the price. I didn't still have the receipt from when I purchased that corn or the other vegetables. I did purchase it from a restaurant supply company, and I know it was on sale at the time, but I don't remember how much I paid, and I don't have the receipt. So what I did is I looked up on the Smith's supermarket website, and for some of you that might be a Kroger's. It's the same. Here in the West, it's Smith's. And for the current 5-pound price for their store brand is $6.23 for a 5-pound bag. A can of the Kroger corn, which would be equivalent to about the pint size, is 85 cents a can, and they didn't have any half-pint cans or the smaller cans of their store brand, at least not in the mixed vegetables. I broke out the price for canning the pints and what it would be for a half pint, and for the mixed vegetables, canning the pint would be about 52 cents. So you compare, 85 cents for the pre-canned to 52 cents for canning it yourself. So you're saving 33 cents a can. And then for the if I did half pints, it would be approximately 26 cents, about half of that. So that is cheaper on that. For the corn, the 5-pound bag is currently $6.22. An equivalent can for the pint size for the Kroger brand is currently 79 cents, and a half pint can is 63 cents. Now, canning it myself for the pint jar would be approximately 62 cents, and for a half pint it would be approximately 31 cents. So for the pint size, you're saving about 17 cents. And then for a half pint, you'd be saving 32 cents. So not a significant savings, but it is a savings, if you're comparing the home can price to buying the cans in the store. Now I can tell you that if I go to Walmart, I can get an off-brand there, and it's a good corn. And there, it's even less there. I think for a full can, they usually have it for about 57 cents a can. So there's your price breakdown. Now next, would I do this again? Probably not. Once you factor in the time, effort, and resources, I don't know that the cost savings is really there to make canning frozen vegetables part of my regular rotation. I will probably go back to primarily dehydrating it. And when I purchased those 5-pound bags of vegetables, I actually have, I think, 4 different types of vegetables. When I purchased those, my intention was to dehydrate them. I use the dehydrated vegetables in dishes like a pot pie, or rehydrate the pea and carrot mix to put into fried rice, or they're good for throwing into a stew, something like that. So time and effort wise, I don't think it was really worth it. So not part of my rotation, but I'm glad to know that it will work. It does just fine. And if I get into a situation where I'm not able to get the canned corn at the grocery store, then this would be a good alternative if I had access to frozen corn or frozen vegetables. Well, I hope you liked today's video. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing and be sure to hit that bell icon to be notified each time I put out a new video. Well, until next time, I hope you have an amazing day, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye now.